From the director of Emmanuel and Gwendoline, and many other classics of French erotica comes Girls from 1980. This is from Cult Epics. This is a 4K and a Blu-ray, so if you have only a Blu-ray player, you get this. You can watch it on Blu-ray. If you have if you have a 4K player, you can watch either one. So if you have a Blu-ray player and eventually you get a 4K player, hey, guess what? You already have the 4K of Girls. This is 95 minutes. It is directed by Jaeckin. Now, the way it reads to an ignorant American that I always found amusing is this guy that made all of these randy erotic films. You could pronounce it as just Jaeckin, but now I know not to because they say it formally. A lot of times you only ever read a name, and if you read a name that's Justjaeckin, you might say just Jaeckin, but that's not how you say it. You say Jaeckin, and that's fine. Now I know. I've been corrected. I never heard it said out loud until I got this set. This stars Parillaud, who you would know from La Femme Nikita and Innocent Blood, Zoe Chauveau, and Isabelle Mejias, and the songs are by 10cc. Yeah, 10cc. And it does feature Not Love. Any more than that, I'll get flagged for copyright. It does feature really good music in this. It's really well shot, and I really like this. I'd never heard of this movie before. It really reminded me a lot of movies like Foxes and Little Darlings and those female frank coming-of-age films of the early 80s, the kind of which you don't always see that much anymore. So I will tell you what's on the 4K disc, and then I will tell you what's on the Blu-ray, and then we'll talk about all of it. The story is basically 4K. There is audio-wise French DTS MA 5.1 surround with English subtitles. The feature is restored in 4K and HDR from the original negative, and it looks really good. This, not that you can tell what my notes are over here, and it does say in all caps, "This looks so good," which I kept saying while I was watching it. Vibrant color and just like super sharp. You can taste the grain, and that's not a bad thing. So the film itself, 4 teenage friends are in France, probably Paris. They get up to various hijinks, making goo-goo eyes at boys, getting involved with boys. They want to just, there's a big dance contest coming up. There's an awkward, goofy guy who really is into them and wants to, be romantically involved with one or more of them and wants to be a dance partner of somebody. And they hang out at this dance club where they, pretend that they're older. And there's a lot of subterfuge going on here and there. The Parillaud character tells everybody that she's really rich and her father owns this hot car, and she goes to school and all this. And in reality, she's a switchboard operator, and where she has her friends drop her off is a much ritzier apartment than where she actually lives. And there's all of this kind of, everybody is pretending to be who they want people to think they are, which you do at that age a lot of times to various degrees. Eventually, the youngest of the group has her first romantic encounter and said, I'm not going to tell you the whole story. That romantic encounter results in a burgeoning bun in the oven. And then the rest of the film becomes these girls trying to somehow raise money. It's just like Detroit Rock City. They all go off in their own ways to try to help fix this problem, and they're going to come together at the end, and their problem will be resolved. They in their own way, they try to raise money so that this young girl can go and get this bun removed. Film is very funny at times. It's very touching at times. It's kind of harrowing at times, and that's adolescence. It's familiar even if you were not a teenage female in France in 1980. There's many aspects of this. Many aspects of this are extremely 1979 France, but many are pretty universal. So this was really refreshing to me. I'd never heard of it. I'd only known Jaeckin's other films, and I expected it to be a lot, I don't want to say sleazier, but a lot racier than it was. It's a little racy here and there, but it's not as much as I expected. So I really quite enjoyed this. And as I say about the review discs that I get a lot of review discs. I mean, all of those still unwatched. But only a few do I say, I'm keeping this one. And I'm keeping this one. This was really, really quite good. Really good performances, naturalistic performances. One of the actresses was actually Canadian. We get an interview with her on here. And just interesting to see Parillaud so early to me. I mean, really a handful of years before the films that I knew her from. And the film has an audio commentary by Jeremy Rishi, and that is the 4K disc is the movie and the audio commentary, and that's it. The Blu-ray, same transfer, same audio commentary, plus extras. Who is Jaeckin? Video essay by Jeremy Rishi, or Richie. That's 18 minutes. Last interview with Jaeckin from 2022. That's 17 minutes in English. He's very frank and interesting. Seems like a very nice guy. Isabelle Mejias interview from 2025. She is basically the focal point of the film, the young girl who gets into trouble, as they used to say. Again, she's Canadian, so that's all in English. 21 minutes. Archival interview from 1980. The director and the cast on a French TV right around the time the film came out, so they look like they do in the movie, on video. That's 5 minutes. The German cut. This is interesting. It's not the whole movie. Apparently, a lot of times in Europe at this time, you would get these international co-productions, and it would be like, to get funding from this country to make this movie play better in this country where the investors are coming from, we need to have an actor from that country. That's why you see these actors that were shot in Italy, but they would have an American actor in it, or they would have American, a French, and an Italian actor in it, or something like that. So in order to get German funding, or at the request of the German distributor, the backers asked that the director recast one of the characters with a then popular German actor. So when they made the movie, they would shoot a scene with the guy who was in the French version of the film playing the boyfriend, and they'd be like, okay, great, bring in Heinrich. That's not his name. I don't remember his name. I'm sorry, Klaus Obalski. Klaus Obalski. So they would, Jimmy, we're going to say his name was Jimmy, it wasn't. The French actor would perform his scenes with the girl, and then he would step out, and they would bring in Klaus, and he would do it again. And the actress, Isabelle Mejias, at one point says, it was really awkward doing this sex scene outside in the woods, being naked with this guy, going through the whole scene, and they bring another guy in. But that was how it was done. So this German cut is 25 minutes, and it's just his scenes from the film. It's just the scenes with the German actors. So if you've just watched Girls, or you know it really well, it's pretty wild to then watch those scenes with a totally different guy doing the same scenes. And it also has the German opening and closing credits. Quality here isn't as good as the main feature because it's not the same transfer. It's taken from a copy of the German version of the film. Then you get Cult Epics trailers. You get Madame Claude, The Island Closest to Heaven, The Debut, My Nights with Susan, Sandra, Olga, and Julie, and The Key, all of which, to some degree, are of a salacious nature because that's what Cult Epics mostly does, not entirely. They've been doing the Obayashi films, which are not salacious really at all, but they sort of specialize in European erotica and things like that. And they do an excellent job. So the packaging itself is pretty cool. This is the 4K edition, as I said, so you get a slipcase like that. Slipcase slips away to reveal the cover, front and back. And does this say regions? It does not. I might have said it already. If I did, there you go. And nothing too fancy inside. Just you sort of, again, you get the representations of the two covers on the disc. So I really liked this. This is a film that I think probably is almost totally unknown in America, but it's worth it. Again, if you like European cinema, if you're interested in Parillaud, if you're interested in female coming-of-age stories, if you're interested in France in the late 70s, got a lot of disco new wave kind of thing going on with this. If you like Foxes or Little Darlings, this is an interesting sort of French alternate to that. So available now on 4K UHD and Blu-ray in the same package from Cult Epics. Girls.